Okay, let's see. Perfect. Okay. Hi, Leanne. How are you?
Hi, Ameera.
Good. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your chapter, what you wrote, why
Mhm.
you chose to write all that stuff. But before we get into your chapter and your contribution to the book, I wanted to know, how did you find the writing process? What was that like for you?
I thought it was going to be simple, but it
Yeah.
ended up being part of my healing journey. It definitely brought things up and made me think about things in the bigger context. I ended up speaking to my family about it, to my kids. I actually had my eldest daughter edit it for me. And yes, it's been quite the journey. And I've sort of come round full circle through that process now to the point where I can present what, without the ugly bits, without the healing process. It's more complete. Yeah.
Yeah, it often is so. Till today, it doesn't matter how many things I think I've worked through. If I write it down, I
Hmm.
can immediately know, okay, I'm still sore about this issue, or there's still some work that
Yeah.
needs to be done here, or I haven't fully processed this
Hmm.
thing. I need to look into it. Writing has a
Hmm.
way of revealing the things that are deeper because, when you write, you need to find the right words and use the words in a way that will make the reader fully understand what you're saying. And doing that makes you analyze it in a different way in your mind.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you get to that deeper stuff that you think you've dealt with.
Exactly. So the threads that were less complete, which I thought were complete but were less complete, I've had to remove because I still need to work on that. So what remains is only the complete work, which has been completed over 15 years. But we often don't realize when we're not quite done with an issue. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm done, but no, you're not quite done. There's still some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it
there's
is still
levels
a
to that.
journey. Yeah.
There's a level
It's
to
definitely
that
a journey.
doneness too, right? So you can be done on a
Mm,
level and then you
yeah.
live life, you experience, and then
And
there's
more.
another level, you
Yeah.
know? And they
Exactly.
reveal themselves as you consciously dive deeper. Like you wouldn't know you had an issue or a continuing issue until you wrote about it.
Until I had to present it. And then I realized, oh, I don't feel undone. You know, some of these things are still triggering me slightly, and had to be removed. But that is just part of my journey because obviously a lot of these things are interconnected. And a lot of people think that, you can do one thing and the whole, like forgive somebody for a karmic relationship and then it's done. But it's actually, there's so much to that relationship that you really need to understand at a much deeper level. And letting go and really forgiving is quite a lot harder and more involved than just, I forgive you. It's a whole lot more to it.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah.
threads are so entwined in our lives. Yeah.
100%. I haven't read your chapter fully, but I've seen some bits and pieces, and I know that you speak deeply on karmic relationships and the effects it
Yeah.
has on this life, and how it comes from past lives, and how we're not aware of that sometimes, and the sensitivity of
Mhm.
that, because you don't know what you're dealing with
No.
until you actually have a regression or you actually have a remembering. And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I understand now why this relationship is so challenging or why so and so
Mhm.
is presenting in this way to me.
Mhm.
I didn't fully understand this until I dealt with it myself. I didn't have a regression about it, but a seer, someone who does this work and who can see into different lifetimes and timelines, told me about an issue that I was having. So, in another book that I was doing, I was having a very difficult relationship with one of the people that I was dealing with. It was extremely
Mhm.
challenging. And
Yeah.
it was not just challenging, like personalities clashing type thing, there was deceit, right? And there was,
Mhm. More.
yeah, it was big. It was
Yeah.
big. And I was wondering, where is this coming from? Why? Why now? Why me? Why you?
Like it doesn't make sense in this context.
Does
Yeah.
not make sense.
It's too
You came
much.
out
Yeah.
of nowhere and now you have this
Mm.
big role in my life and your mission is to
Mm.
like bring me down. What's going on?
That's
And so I
often the
was,
karmic relationship.
right? And so I was
Yeah.
speaking to this person about it and he said to me, well, if you would allow me, I can give you a little bit of a reading on that because some things are coming through. And I said, sure, let me know. And it was a combination of him and someone else. But what came out of those conversations and regressions really was that this person I was dealing with in this life was physically hunting me in another, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then that gives you the perspective. It's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be engaging so much. I don't want to be
Right?
the prey. Yeah.
And when
It gives
when
you,
they
yeah.
when they use the word hunting, it
Mm.
gave me this feeling of, okay, I understand why I feel so fight or flighty around you. You know,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
triggering that running response I'm having in that other timeline, that other lifetime.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I really took note about how past lives really affect things in this life. And luckily, I've closed those loops. I've dealt with those things to as much as I could deal with it, right? I don't want to open those things again. I don't want to
No.
know. But
Yeah.
it's sealed for now.
Yes. And you know
Um,
what? A lot of those family relationships are like that because a lot of people have difficulty in family relationships because we're actually put them in our close family because we've decided to deal with it in this coming lifetime. So you can get away from the hunter because he's just part of a book. Eventually you can get away from him. But in a family, it's a lot harder. So you have to deal with these people that are positioned all around you and are part of your family, right? And yeah, and that's the difficulty, and that's why it's so many layers in. And the only way really to understand some of this is past life regression, because otherwise you don't have the perspective. Because just dealing with it here with the current psychological tools we have, like family systems and whatnot, doesn't give you it doesn't help you in the way that you need help, like to get full understanding. Like it helps you to cope with small, like psychological issues, like they're betraying you and being mean and blah, 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 whatever. But it doesn't help you in the bigger sense. And that is where the tools are. And also the main reason why we should even be focusing on dealing with karmic relationships is because it takes especially within the family, it takes us out of a victim mentality. Like, I'm the victim, they're being mean to me. Like, I'm not saying that about, I've experienced this. um, and into higher states of consciousness, and eventually there's different levels, and eventually you're in like compassion and oneness and all these like higher states. But you've got to move out of victimhood, because victimhood is where you're attracting your lessons through pain, through suffering, through, that kind of, we don't want that. Like, just don't want it. So you want to step away from that and see how you were engaged in allowing this to happen. What exactly is the backstory? Why did you allow these people back into your life that are so karmic? So the backstory is like, how did you decide to allow this? So it's out of victimhood,
100%.
and then moving up all through these various stages.
I
And
I love
that's
that you explained it that way because again, you implying and you were strongly suggesting that there's choice here. You don't have
this
to
choice.
experience these lessons through pain. You don't
No,
have to. And I didn't
no,
know that. I thought,
yeah.
and maybe it's just the word comic that has that connotation to it
Um,
that it has to
got to
be
be with this person.
painful.
Yeah. No, you
Yeah.
don't. You can say, I'm done with you. Bye. Learn my
Yeah.
lesson.
Yeah. And
See you later.
yeah, and even in your chapter, how you explain the relationship dynamics and all those things, it's like, yeah, I can see it now. Now that I know what I know, I can see how it's happening. And
Mhm.
it helped me to kind of deal with some of the things I experienced through my very close relationships. But I have a question for you, and that is, if you see someone you love, someone you know that's close to you, experiencing karmic relationships, but they don't, quote unquote, believe in these things,
Mhm.
how do you, because I would look and I would say, I know what can help you. You need to understand this relationship on that multidimensional level, and then you can deal with it.
No,
But
no, no.
they
You
don't
do
see that,
nothing.
right?
You do nothing. You do nothing unless they ask for help, because you can't put help onto somebody. You're taking on their karmic issues. You're taking it on. Like you're here to help, and you can live through. The best thing you can actually do is live through example. So you heal the different things that need to be. You heal your karmic relationships. Eventually, they'll turn around and go like, how did you do that? Like, how did that happen? And when they ask for help, then you go, look, this is how you did. That's why I'm sharing this chapter, because I have done this for 15 years and it wasn't easy. It was definitely a little journey through some of the darker places. um, and but getting to the other end is so worthwhile. And if anyone wants to know how to do that, but you can't push it on people. They have to ask. You cannot want them to want it. You can't do any of that stuff. You can just show them that you've done it. And these are the benefits of not living like that anymore. And if they want the same thing, it's not impossible. I've done it, like, so anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Same.
right?
Same,
Yeah.
same, same. And it's funny because like you say, it's the closest relationships that you
Yeah.
see.
And
And then when you
and
can
then you
detach
think it's
yourself from
impossible.
that, like
Yeah.
you said, the comicness of it, if you can detach
Mhm.
yourself from that victim mentality and deal
But
with it, then
cutting off,
you'll,
yes, sorry. Like I just wanted to say something you said there, like a lot of people think they can just cut that relationship off and then it's fixed. It's not. That's
it's
just
not.
avoiding it.
Yeah.
And that's not helping it. I mean, that's avoiding
Yeah.
it. You're avoiding short-term discomfort, but you're not solving it in the longer run.
In the long
Sorry,
run,
carry on.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and the relationships become that much sweeter when you do deal with
Yeah.
it. In my experience at
Yes.
least. Because I've had
Yes.
comic, quote unquote, issues with my parents, my
Mhm.
siblings. I'm still in the process of dealing with the sibling issues, but the parent issues, I've pretty much dealt with one parent, so much so to the point where I feel like that was a different life completely, where we had these differences, where we didn't see eye
Right.
to eye, where these
Yeah.
issues affected my
Gone.
mental health and my
Mhm.
decision
Yeah.
making. And
Mhm.
I've got no feelings of anger, resentment, all of those negative
Mhm.
feelings. I have none of that anymore. And it's like
Mhm.
I see how other people in my life are being negatively affected by those resentment feelings and all that because they won't deal with their own part in those relationships. Like you said, it's not just,
It's about ownership. Yeah.
yes, it's not just look at me, I'm the
Yeah.
victim, I'm sad, I'm
And we move
whatever.
past that. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
And you do have to, the first step is accepting the role that you played in allowing it.
yes.
Yeah. I want to say allowing because that's the most, you
Empowering.
know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Allowing is the right word because you are empowered. You're always empowered. You're
Yeah.
never a
You
victim in any
chose it.
situation,
Yeah.
you
A
know?
lot of people get triggered when you say you chose it, but it's pretty much the same thing at the higher levels,
Yes.
choosing, allowing. And when you understand the reasoning for that, you can, okay, I get it now. Under those
Yeah.
circumstances, I see how that happened.
Yes.
And that is when you can step into that realization that you can own it, even if it's very bad that happened. Like you can own it because now you can see you allowed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I
that is
mean,
a big transformation in consciousness. And that's just the first step. There's so many more to go
yes.
and that's a big one. Like it's a big, big, big one. But if people can take that step, they can then experience all the benefits of higher states of consciousness, the
Oh,
benefits of
yeah.
spirituality. We all want all these wonderful things. And you think you can just like think it into being, but you actually have to do it into being.
Yeah. You have
You
to
actually have to
be it
live
into
it.
being
You have
too.
to walk the path. You have to
Yeah.
do these things within your relationships, within your life, and
Yeah.
then these things open up for you.
Yes. You have to
It's kind
be
of
it
like a
into being.
doorway. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And also it's like it's more like an ego thing to say, oh, I didn't choose this and I would never choose this and who I've seen that a lot. And it's kind
Yes.
of, again, you don't want to engage too much with that type of conversation because it's highly sensitive for the person who is always on the back foot.
Mhm.
I didn't choose this and who would choose this and I
Yeah.
would never, if I had a choice and I won't come back. I see that all the time. I watch a lot
Same
since
here.
we started this book. I've been seeing a lot of videos people post about reincarnation and the soul's journey. And talking about certain things which I don't
Like
always
they're
agree
done.
with,
And they
you
don't
know?
want to reincarnate again. Yeah. I can
Yeah,
see
and I've
that.
seen a lot of fear-based stuff. People with a lot of followers and a lot of YouTube subscribers are sharing things that are a little damaging, I think, a little fear-based. And you get
Mhm.
thousands of comments, and people are so concerned. Oh my goodness, what if this happens to me? And what if, I don't want to reincarnate and my life sucks? And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is why we're doing this book, where
Yeah.
you can get your hands on real, true information that's not based in fear, that's actually going to help
Yeah.
alleviate those fear-based belief systems that you have and help you
There's nothing
release
to
them.
fear. You're
Yeah.
not getting anything that you haven't agreed to.
Yeah.
Even if it is horrific, and I do know that is offensive to people who've had a very horrific experience, like that. How you're insulting me to say that I chose this. I get that, but when you do go through this experience, you do have this transformation, and you do see it from how you did choose it and why, which is fascinating. So you got to make a space for that possibility. You
Yeah.
know, for that possibility that you can own this and you did choose it, because it allows you to step forward and there's nothing to be afraid of. So if you're in charge and you're doing the choosing and you're doing everything, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
There, like, I can literally decide what I want to do. I
Yes.
can, you're the creator. So one of the highest steps is stepping into the creator aspect. Like, you're creating your own reality. You can't do it from the place of fear. That's not a great place. But as you step through this process, this journey, you can create this beautiful space for yourself and other people, because it's a ripple effect. You don't sit here like an island. You're radiating this out for everyone around you. Everybody around me is affected by the changes I've made. And I know that's true of everybody who deals with these issues. We're all connected. So it's just a ripple effect. So you're helping yourself, future generations, and everyone around you, physically, emotionally, psychically around you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Even people
it's a
you
gift.
haven't met yet, even people you haven't
Yeah,
dealt with yet, it's
yeah, yeah.
and I don't know what it was, if it was a video I watched or if it was an article I read or something, but they speak about this heart resonance where everyone around you, their
Mm.
hearts are connected.
Yes.
And so there's a field that the it creates, and my
Hmm.
field, heart field, is interacting with someone else's heart field. And so you can influence them by just
Hmm.
changing your state of being, right? So
Exactly. Yeah.
beyond just the comic stuff and beyond the past life stuff, just your
Mm.
being right now, I can change, let's say how my neighbor is feeling, for example, by me
Yeah.
embodying a state of peacefulness or
Yes.
love, or just I don't know, just some kind of euphoria or whatever. I can just
Absolutely.
affect
And
them
this
that
is well
way.
understood. It's even political ideas can be transferred through location, through proximity. So
Yeah,
it's like I'm taking it from a place where people could understand it and see it with their eyes,
that's exactly
down
it.
to down to the heartfelt resonance and the energy
Yes.
that we're holding for our neighbors and the people around us and our community.
Yeah.
And that is also felt and affected.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, dealing with your karmic relationships is like your homework for you to do that benefits everyone.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, it
yeah.
just out there. It's not wasted energy. It's not selfish. It's not self-centered.
Yeah.
It's just your homework. You came here to do your homework, your job in this life, and you're dealing with that. And it's a gift to everyone around you.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is a gift. It truly is a gift, because at the end of the day, we all just came here to have a good time, experiencing life as humans. And
joy and happiness and
yeah,
everything, and that's what you get from doing this. So that is what we all want. That's what you should all want. That is the goal for everyone.
yeah,
So yeah, letting go of these things and doing that little bit of work is sometimes a little hard, but it is short-lived in the big picture.
yeah. And even if you live 100 years, I mean, that's a teeny tiny sprinkle in the ocean compared to eternity.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
yeah,
can you let go of your ego for 1 second and just deal with your issues? I'm saying that
yes,
just like it's tough love, but that's what it is.
yeah,
You'll be
yeah, yeah.
surprised how much happier you would be if you
Mhm.
let go of the ego saying, I gotta be angry with so and so, and I gotta be, I need justice, and I'm righteous in this situation, and stick
Mhm.
with me, because I will get what I need out. Like, come on. Let
You're
go.
so right, Amira. There is humility involved. Definitely,
Yeah.
there's humility to face, to be that vulnerable, to be that honest with yourself, that truthful about how bad the situation really is, what people's intentions really are towards you, um, and things like that. So that takes humility to look things straight in the eye and call it like it is, and not protect yourself, like present yourself in a good light. I have the morning sun rising in my face here, and it's presenting me with a bit of a squint. But like you can't, is people want to present themselves like as healed and whole and happy, but sometimes, and then they're protecting themselves from the truth.
Yeah.
And for a period of time, you do need to be honest about the truth, in order to heal it. Like you have to have that humility to like, okay, this is how it actually is. Like I know I don't look good in that situation, but that's how that is.
Yes.
And now I'm
Yeah.
going to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, that protecting the self, and also being honest with others, sometimes when they call
Hmm.
for it and they say, be honest with me, this is what I'm dealing with. How can I fix? How can I improve? How can I elevate? It's like, do
Yeah.
you are you going to be
Really want to
honest,
hear it.
for the sake
Yeah.
of helping them and really look into their
Mm.
their stuff? Or are you going to sugarcoat things and come behind this bush and go behind that tree,
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's difficult to make that call because they're not always ready to receive. But if you don't say what they need to say, will they ever hear it and then come to terms with it later on and be like, even a year down the road, you know what, Leanne, you were right. You told me a year ago that I need to get my stuff together, and I was
Mhm.
upset at the time, but I did. And now
Yeah.
I'm so much better for it. And my life has improved, and I am now able to improve the lives of others. I
Yeah.
think
Tough
that's our
love.
work ultimately. If we cannot be honest in this world, then what can we do? Then we're dealing with
Yeah.
things like, on a bigger scale, politics and politicians lying to us, and people covering up truths, and doctors shoving down stuff down our throats that we don't need, covered with lies, and everything
Mm.
becomes a dishonest soup, you know?
Yeah, it does. People, exactly. Yeah. But you have to be open to the truth. If you're not open to the truth, if somebody's even yelling it in your face, you're still not going to hear it. You're
Yeah.
not going to see it. You're not going to take it in. So you do have to be open to it. Like, okay, I'm ready to hear the truth. And I've had a few truths said to me that I wasn't necessarily ready for, but I decided to, okay, let me take that home and think about it. So I take it home, squirrel away, and like, is that true? How is it true? How could that possibly be true? And you start looking at it, in an honest way, and then you find things,
Yeah.
if you're open to it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
And
a gift. It's a little
and
gift. Like somebody has put
it's
their
a
neck on the
gift.
line to tell you something. Take it home and unpack
Yes.
it.
Yes, I love what you
Yeah.
said. It's a gift because I wanna close with this, and I wanna say that my closest relationship in my life, my
Hmm.
husband, we have
Hmm.
such an honest relationship with each other where we are not afraid to say anything. And we didn't
Hmm.
always have a good relationship. We had a very up and down relationship over, we've known each other now 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the best space in our relationship is when we started being honest with each other and saying, you know what, I think you were full of you know this is
Mm.
what it is, and both of us can give and receive that honesty.
Mm.
You deal with your anger, you do what you need to do, go cry about it if you need to, come back and
Yeah.
we can have a conversation, come back
Yeah.
and we can, with
Yeah.
love, say what
Yeah.
we need to say without the ego, without the anger, without the 15 years of baggage you're bringing along. Like, we've dealt with that. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's just be honest and do that. And if every relationship, whether it's a brother sister relationship, a mom dad, whatever, if that honesty exists without all the other add-ons, if it's just love and honesty, you can build an unbreakable relationship. That's what I think. I don't know, I'm
Exactly.
still on
But
it.
you're also helping each other heal because you're mirroring that to each other. And you say, oh, I'm open to what you have to say.
Yeah.
I will consider it. I will
Yeah.
always consider it.
Yeah.
So it's lovely to have that kind of relationship. Not everyone has it, and not everyone's open to it. But if you do want to be on a spiritual journey, that is what you need with yourself or with
Necessary.
someone else.
It's
Yeah.
necessary, yeah.
Or your
Especially
spirit guides or whoever.
especially dealing with spiritual work because you need to be open and honest with yourself. So
Because
it's
it's
a natural
continuous.
outflow.
Nobody arrives here perfect. Like
Yeah.
we're just it's a journey. And
Yeah.
you've got to be brave enough to do it. Like face
Yeah.
all the stuff that you have done and created and are part of, and just face it and do
Yeah,
it.
and bless our partners and our loved ones who are, who
Mm.
said, "Yeah, I'll come with you and I'll do this with you," knowing that we were going to be the kooks, and on
Exactly.
this, the woo-woo path. They knew, but they said, "Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
come along anyway." So bless
Yeah.
them.
Along for the ride. And it's yeah, it's you're never done. You're never done.
Yeah,
And that takes humility in itself to accept.
and that's the fun of it. I mean, come on, we've got
Yeah.
eternity. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Twiddle our thumbs?
Yeah.
You know, let's
I've
do
thrown
stuff.
away the ego a long time ago. It's like, show me the next thing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm very excited for our book to come out. I'm super excited for people to learn about, the soul's journey, reincarnation, past lives, all the things that we talk about in the book, from multiple perspectives, so that they can make up their own minds. They can release the limiting beliefs they've picked up along the way that they don't need to attach to. They can release the fear, around these topics. I've had to release some fear, and just look at it with a new lens and find a way to heal themselves, help themselves, improve their lives, improve the lives of others, based on what our book is going to put out there. So I'm super excited.
Yes. It's your vision, Ameera, and thanks for inviting us. It's
I
wonderful to
wish
be
I could
part of
take
this
the
whole
credit,
team.
but it really isn't. This was an assignment. I was given this assignment by Spirit. They said do this, and
Mhm.
I do the work. So I cannot take the credit and say, "Oh, this was my idea." It was
But
not.
it's coming through you, and we can all feel it. And there is great harmony and vision in this, and it's been a real gift to do this journey.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you, Leanne. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. So super excited. Get your book. It's only 99 cents until May 26th for the first, second, and third volumes. So get your books, 99 cents. I'll put the links in the description. I'll put the link to Leanne's website and where you can find her in the description too. And yeah, I look forward to another conversation with you soon in the future. Have a wonderful day. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Cheers.